Hello, good morning and welcome to a stunning Winterberg in Germany. The snow is deep and crisp and even, and a beautiful sunny morning here, the like of which only the oldest bobsledding hands can remember. Well, hello everybody, welcome to round 4 of the FIBT Wiesmann World Cup for women's bobsled, the first of 2 heats about to get underway. 20 sleds from 11 nations ready to take on what is likely to be a track record breaking condition sheet of ice here at Winterberg in Germany. And this track saw in the women and the men's skeleton races yesterday, the track record not just broken, not having a few hundred shaved off it, but half a second. Well, it's 1,330 meters of ice, and as you can see from this onboard shot, often the weather is not as good as it is today. Well, our bobsled expert John Morgan is with me in the booth, and John, this POV shot in rainy conditions, but the track still remains a challenge.
Well, the athletes were sliding on ice. It was full of snow all week long, and up here, look at this uphill section of this top part of the track. Real slow right here. You can't make any mistakes like the driver just made in that POV shot. Then it drops off here. Another little straightaway. You prepare yourself for the Kreisel, the pivotal part of the track. You enter into the Kreisel, and you want to exit with the slingshot effect onto the bottom. No mistake here in the outlet. No chance to accelerate for speed. Curve 9. If we're going to see accidents, this is one of the first parts right here up in this outlet. 10, big pressure curve to the right. Now watch this 3-corner combination labyrinth. Right, left, right. The bobsleds have a little problem with that little third labyrinth curve. Uphill into the finish, through and down. It's a very short track, Martin, and a lot of high speed at the end.
Well, there is a lot of speed at the end as well, and everybody talks about Whistler being a fast track, but they're doing well over 130 kilometers an hour here as well. And John,
the weather,
stunning.
I've been here since '78. I don't think I've seen weather like this.
Yeah, only the oldest of bobsleigh hands remember days like this. Kaillie Humphries is our World Cup leader, undefeated now in 5 straight World Cup races plus World Championships. She's won every race this season. Sandra Kiriasis, Kathleen Martini back on German ice. This is Sandra's home track, but it might not be easy to overhaul our Canadian Olympic champion. Well, we've got a field of 20 sleds here today with some new arrivals to the World Cup who've been starting their season here in Europe. You can see the athletes warming up. Astrid Lock-Wilkinson of Australia coming towards us. And there is Jasmine Fenlator of the USA. There's Sandra Kiriasis, hometown girl. Well, John, yesterday we saw the track records just blown out of the water by the skeleton sliders. It's probably going to be even faster today. It was a really cold night last night.
Cold. Track crew spritzed the track up. There's a few shades down, but, you know, I don't think anybody understands. We don't ever slide in weather like this in Winterberg. And when that little film of the sun comes onto that ice, it creates that little bit of less friction. That means record times.
Well, we've got newcomers from Romania and Belgium joining, and Switzerland too as well. Caroline Spahni, she rejoins the tour. They, as I said, for budgetary reasons predominantly have been racing in Europe in the early part of the season, and now the World Cup has caught up with them. Ready to get this women's race underway here in Winterberg. The sled is loaded into the ice for Esme Kamphuis of the Netherlands. The 29-year-old is going to be the crash test dummy for everybody. She's going to be the wide-eyed first voyager down this very fast Winterberg track.
She's coming off a 4th place finish in Whistler. There's a few Dutch people here that could get out of the country because of all the snow and ice they've had over there in the last couple of days, but ooh, that's a mistake. This is the Dutch home track, so we will see a lot of orange out here today.
Absolutely right. 5.70 start. The track record 5.58, but it's how fast they get down this ice that's going to be interesting.
Look at the runner tips up here. Absolutely quiet. No steering. No mistakes. Can't drift to the left. That was nice. No friction up here. When you get going a little faster, you can make a mistake. She's got good lines here. Kreisel's covered because they expect sun on it, even though there's no sun on it now, but
so a good exit from the Kreisel.
Speeds, keep your eye on that speed, 99.2. That's a good telestrator what's going to happen down here in the bottom. Curve 10's covered with shades. Now 11, 12, 13, and the speed into the finish, 130 kilometers,
wow.
81.3 miles an hour. Track record.
Track record, first time out. Nikki Minicello, loving that.
3800s.
Wow, okay.
Get your pen out. I don't think that's going to be the last one. We could see this track record times, 3 or 4 more times.
You're right. That was a good slide, though. That was very neat, very tidy, no mistakes,
She's, you know, she was 4th in Whistler. She beat 2 of the German sleds.
Yes, she did.
Starts, I mean, both very good athletes. Dr. Kamphuis in. Look at the athleticism to get in and get down. There's a little push bar mechanism, takes that down. The driver, brakeman's in there. Look at the coaches. They know she's got a good runner. They see that gold number pop up. They see track record. You see track record, you shake your hands.
She might not own it for long, but she owns it right now.
Record.
There you go.
That might be the first time ever the Dutch broke the track record in Winterberg.
Well, here we go. Let's see if it stands for another sled. Kathleen Martini with Lizette Turner. Kathleen's had 2 wins on this track and has been on the podium 6 of the last 7 years.
2 Germans here to cheer on. Look how quick that brakeman, and you can't even see the brakeman back there. And she's down at the start, of course. She's got a slower start than Kamphuis. This girl can drive. +8, that's relative to the start. Up here where it's flat. Oh, she tapped up there. +8, maybe go to +10, or she start to stop the bleeding, get into single. +15, whoa.
Well, that little tap on the wall going uphill has twice the effect,
We see +15, 18, Kamphuis. Might have done it. She did it. The speed. No, not the speed.
For the Dutch. 98.7 for the Germans.
So if I'm the Dutch, I'm thinking now, what did we just do? Into the finish, not the speed at all.
131. She's just a fraction quicker.
Wow.
Wow. Not enough, though, at the bottom. The Dutch hold on to the track record for another sled.
I think the Dutch broadcaster NOS, they should be aware of what's going on right now, because that's a good telltale sign. There's only 2 other sleds, I think, that can overtake Kamphuis in the first 10.
Well, do you know what? I think there might be a few. This is a tough game.
I think Humphries, Kiriasis are the only 2 that can really challenge her.
I'm looking at Alana Meyers as well, but there was mistakes definitely from Kathleen Martini. Little late there as well.
Yeah, she crossed over pretty good. She had good speed at the bottom.
Yeah, well, you know, everybody knew it was going to be fast. Everybody knew they were going to have to anticipate their steers because they were going to get to corners much quicker than in the snowy training. Well, next up from the USA 2's pilot Alana Meyers, and Alana with Katie Nebelin behind her on the Campgrounds of America sled.
5.58 is the start record. Seeing what the other 2 sleds did, they should get in the low 60s. Maybe 59, 62 probably. Track record!
My word, 5:55.
Wow!
There we go.
You know, different brakeman every week. Alana Meyers is with. She crashed earlier in the week. She had Lolo Jones on the back of the sled, the track and field athlete for the United States that competed in London. Wow! Well, this track, you got a start time in this track.
You've really got a chance. She's 0.2 of a second up. 1,600 still over the Dutch. 93.7.
Not the speed the Dutch had. She's going to lose good exit here. Slingshot effect onto the bottom.
Well, let's take a look at the next speed trap. 99.1. The Dutch were at 99.2. She's close enough to break the track record. She needs 130, high 130s at the bottom. Good lines.
Back. This is a bad. That's 131.
Still
another track record. This is surprising.
There you go. 56.90.
We're below 57 seconds here at Winterberg.
Okay.
Wow. Used to be a minute 10 years ago.
Okay, what's the men's track record? We may get down closer to that.
But the men this afternoon aren't going to have the temperatures that we have right now.
Yeah.
This is
Well, we thought that in men's skeleton yesterday, and they just decimated it as well. It's cold, it's crisp, John.
Athleticism at the start, you know. And I might tell you something, this is a statement made by Alana Meyers. If you give me a track where the start is so crucial, I'm going to challenge, and that's what Sochi's all about.
Well, the other thing is,
the coach, cheers on.
The other thing is, Kathleen Martini made mistakes. She hit the wall. We saw that. Alana didn't.
Yeah,
she's really,
but there's two heats. This is
as a driver.
It takes two heats.
Oh, yeah. Next up, Jamie Greubel with Emily Azevedo. And this pair really could put the cat among the pigeons as well.
I don't know if they're going to get into the 50s, but I got to believe they're going to be 65 or better.
Yeah. Well, now the buzz at the top.
Women's bobsledding. Boy, there's some new kids in the block. And it deals with the first 50 meters, athleticism. 5:61.
Wow. That's only 300s outside the old track record by anybody's standards. That is a great getaway.
Now remember, Alana Meyers crashed earlier in the week at practice, broke the track record. She just came down. Her teammate Jamie Greubel, she also crashed in practice.
Little tap.
Another tap
and
there.
Another.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to give her a track record. She is in second place at the moment.
Greubel, great track and field athlete out of Cornell University in upstate New York. Lured to the program by another former Cornell athlete.
98.7, not quite on track record pace there. Still in the top three, though.
High speed late there, 2100 top, 130, good speed.
They are motoring 81.5 miles an hour.
Still.
Wow.
She beat Martini.
Yeah.
It used to be a given Kathleen Martini was in the top three.
Yeah.
And now we've got these U.S. drivers who could really push the sled.
Now, John, we've had 4 sleds down. The track record's been broken twice already. What is the buzz like at the top? The athletes are going to be absolutely jangling.
Speeds, track. This isn't the conditions they practice in. You can't practice for record speed. Look at the articulation of the sled, crossover there on the bottom part of the last labyrinth into the finish, crossed over. A little late, but she didn't steer.
Yeah.
She had good speed. 130.9 was good speed.
Very good speed indeed. And next up is our Olympic champion. She's won all 3 races so far this season. She's been undefeated in the last 6 outings.
Yeah, we just got notice they're voting this week in Canada for Kaillie to be the CBC Athlete of the Year up against 6 others. You can go to cbc.ca and vote. Voting, they announce it next Saturday. You know, who's going to be the CBC Sports Athlete of the Year.
5:57, another epic start.
She was the best starter in the world now. Now she's got a couple other North Americans chasing her down. But she's got a little driving skills, and she's won 6 in a row. Look at, she's got goggles on, number one of the few in the field. The other, Jennifer Ciochetti, also wears goggles. Look how low she is in the sled. Her eyes are barely above the cowling. Street out. That's relative to the start. That's great speed. Perfect on the exit there. Now the sled starts to motor. She stopped, lost a little bit back.
Good speed,
A little
98.7.
late on 9.
Second place at the moment.
Gonna need 131.6 or so to challenge here in the finish.
131.0. She's not going to break the record. She will be second at the line, though. 400ths of a second behind. Plenty to work with, but the first time that she has not led a heat when she stood out of the sled in 6 races.
2 races, though, to win. 2 heats to
2 runs to win it. The Olympic champion is not going to be last to go in Heat 2.
But track conditions, you know, only 4 or 5 sleds come down. Look at the line here. 9, that's not bad. Look at, she drifts a little bit. There's this. This will tell you how close is she to the wood here.
Just a fraction.
That's about right. That's about right. We'll see those pictures the rest of the day. That's the correct line. But of course, she is the Olympic champion, and she's won 6 straight. So How was it, Kaillie?
Happy birthday, Zach.
Yeah, they all have a message, don't they?
Paula Walker of Great Britain with Jill Cook behind her. Paula crashed in training with Kelly Denyer on the back of the sled. And Jill won the push off here, just 100th between the two break women. They've got such strength now in this women's program.
They got beautiful helmets, uniforms. Can you get the British to spring for a little flag for their sled?
Yeah.
Can you get any pull there?
We need to go.
Come on.
I may have to go and buy one myself.
There's a tap there.
Yeah, a couple of taps.
Paula Walker, also another athlete who crashed in training, and we mentioned. Nothing really faces her. Short 1,200-meter track, good pilot. She's going to probably get to 2,500s at the next clock. They need to be perfect at the bottom to get to that top 5. Yeah, that's not bad. 92.9, that's not good speed though.
57.8 miles an hour, the quickest have been at 58. We need 90 high, 98, 98.2 is not high. She is still going to come down inside the old track record, but that was yesterday.
Good lines here at the bottom. This is really good. Doesn't have that 131-kilometer magic speed.
57.28. The old track record that when we started the morning was 57.40. That's how quick it is.
Every single sled's come down and look at the old track record.
Yeah.
How low can they go? I mean, what do we? Every year we're going to come out here, we're going to see the record.
Well, no. You know, the record stood for 5 years.
How high she is at 9, not bad. Now the first part of the labyrinth. Look for the head slapping. Look for the transition. This is the outlet of the curve. Nice smooth transition. Crosses over. She might have caught the take on a little fraction early. Pushed her way into the middle. That's a little friction. That might be why she didn't have 130-kilometer speed.
Well, that labyrinth down the bottom where you're doing 60 miles an hour plus, that's what worries the girls. It's coming at them so much quicker than training. Next up is our Olympic champion and 5-time world champion, Sandra Kiriasis, on home ice here.
She used to come out to the track and she'd only have 1 or 2 other drivers to deal with, and she'd win. She dominated the sport. Now with a 5:70 start time, she's so far back at the start that only a perfect line down this track will give her a chance to get in the top 3. I don't think she can catch Meyers. Yeah, she'll bleed a little bit more time away. I mean, she's perfect right now, Martin. Those are perfect lines.
We know this is what you expect from Sandra, clinical precision. This is not just
here she comes.
A German track.
93.7, that's the same speed as Meyer, so she's already took away that start deficit.
This is her German track. This is where she lives. This is where her fan club is strongest. 1200s, she could get closer. 98.7 is almost quick enough.
She's going to need 131.6 or so down here to have a chance. A little late.
Time's going away again.
She could be single digits. She could be like 9 back. 11. There's 3rd place, Christoph Langen. Okay, but remember, she's the 8th, 7th, 8th sled down. She does not have the fresh ice that Myers, Martini, and Kamphuis have.
But the ice is so hard and fast, I don't think it's deteriorating that much. She's just lost 1,500s at the start, and there's not enough ice to make it up.
Kathleen Martini, Sandra Kiriasis. It was just flip a coin which one was going to win. Now there's 4 or 5 other athletes out here challenging them from different countries. It's a fresh, a new women's bobsleigh order here now. I mean, these are perfect lines. And I think the rest of the world will start to catch up to this lady who's dominated the sport more than anybody in the history of it.
Talking to fellow resident René Spies there. Next up, Jasmine Fenlator and Asia Evans, USA 1. And again, said this about Jamie Greubel. Jazz has got all the potential to lead this race, no question about it.
She's got another one of those Olympic crossover athletes, track and field. Aja's had great start times. Good technique. Look at that power there.
Just
in it quick. She was down. But look how buried she got in there back quickly. 5:57. Boy, to see these start times by the USA sleds is very... You got a start time, you got a chance. Well, this is pretty unbelievable.
The slowest US start time is a 5:61, which is still comfortably quicker than the Germans.
Oh, there's a bad mistake. There's another one.
Oh, big skid.
Huge.
Sets her up for corner 5,
yeah,
so it may not take too much speed away.
Yeah, she's going to lose another 20 hundredths quickly. But first person we've seen only with 92 kilometer speed, and the entrance into Kreisel, you can't make those mistakes up top. So she's not going to be late.
This is an
she's
run.
Inexperienced. She doesn't have the experience on this track. 130 kilometer speed, though.
Is good. Where's she going to end up? 8th place at the moment. 8th it is. Well, plenty to tidy up in the second heat. A little shake of the head there from Todd Hayes.
Yeah, that's the first slide we've seen going sideways up top.
Yeah.
There wasn't one mistake, there was about 3.
Just to remind you how hard this is, it's not easy. They make it look easy when they get it right.
Look at the feet. You think that's easy to jump in over there and not catch your foot? Now you got to get down. You got to hit your little button to put the push bar down, but then this is it. This is a little tap. Watch the left side of our screen. Look at the runners. Is she trying to steer? She's trying to steer away from. See, that's what caused the skid. She tried to steer away. Should have just hit the wall and let it come forward. You get a bobsled in a skid like that, Winterberg up top of the track. So.
Fabienne Meyer of Switzerland with Elizabeth Graf behind her. Meyer, former junior world champion.
We tried to get a headshot out of Elizabeth. She was here for training on Tuesday. She left Wednesday and Thursday. She came back late last night. Or, excuse me, last Friday night. Yeah. So she only got 2 heats of training on Tuesday. And, of course, the best Swiss finish in many years by this young Fabienne Meyer, and the last event in Whistler. Start time, her nemesis.
Well, John, the fast start time of leader Alana Meyers, 5:55. She started 5:74, a quarter of a second almost behind before she gets to the speedy bits of the track.
Yeah, on 1,200-meter track, I mean, Whistler's different. Whistler, you can give up a little time like that and drive yourself into a podium like she did. But here, you don't have the start time. Start is so crucial here. I would say start has 20% more value here than Whistler.
Well, Whistler would be something like a 400-meter race.
Look at the speed there. Look at that speed.
99.5 is the quickest we've seen.
Yeah, she's flying. Deficit start time, 18. 131.4 the best speed, so she's going to get into a top 3 with that start time. 9th best start, 5th at the bottom. She's only 500ths, and remember, she's gone 9th, 10th down the track, 9th down the track. She'll have equal ice to work with.
Yeah.
Well,
she started 2/10 slower than Alana Meyers, finished 1600ths behind her. So
you give her that start time. You give Fabienne Meyer the start time that Kaillie, Humphries, and Meyers had. Look at this. Look at the brake. Now, I like the brakeman's head going shake it back and forth like that. To me, the head should be locked in more. It's a straight-ahead sport. Look at the speed before Omega. That's the start speed. You can see that. Humphries, look at this. Humphries had a slower start time than Meyers, but a better speed, meaning they had a better entry into the sled. That's, people forget. One thing is to have the start time. And then you get in the sled like they're doing here, and if you don't get in right, you might alter the direction of the sled. Maybe too much information, Martin.
No. It's absolutely right. It's not about speed, it's about getting the power into the sled. Christina Hengster of Austria next up with Inge Versen. This is another team that may not have the explosive starts of the USA. Can she find a drive to match them?
Another good driver. That gives up time at the start. Should be in the 70s. 77. Tap there too. So she did a 77. She might as well done an 80 with that tap. 61.3. Good driver, but start time deficit. I mean, all the athletes used to have that start deficit against Martini and Kiriasis, and now you've got 3 American sleds, the Canadian sled, really with fantastic start times.
That she's really bringing the gap down. She was only 10th fastest at the start. She's brought the gap down a little. And this is a very neat and tight run.
She's got good speed, that is.
99.
That's big speed. Oh, but she had a mistake. She had a big mistake between 9, 10. Should be 131 speed. She's flying.
1600s. She could bring this down to within a 10th of the lead.
Wow.
She does. 57 flat.
That's unbelievable.
That's a great, great drive.
She had the 10th best start time, third of the bottom.
Look, she comes through punching the air. She doesn't even know what the position is. She just knows how good that felt at the bottom. You know, when you get into the finish corner, you can feel the speed ebbing away.
Here's the mistake, though, on the exit of 9. Now watch the sled as it taps a little bit. She comes over to the right side of our screen, taps before the take-on. See, she was trying to get on the right side here. The take-on of the curve early, she hit the straight wall going in. It taps her to the middle. She lost a little time there.
A beautiful morning for bobsledding here. Alana Meyers leads the race from Kaillie Humphries, 10 of our 20 sleds down the track.
Liebe Zuschauer, die Hälfte des Starterfeldes ist jetzt von uns ins Ziel begleitet worden. Wir haben sie gesehen, wir haben sie applaudiert. Jetzt folgen die Schritten mit den Startnummern 11 bis 20 nacheinander. Und die letzten, die dann diesen Weg aufnehmen werden, hier an der Bahn in Winterberg. Das ist der Bob Deutschland 3 mit der Pilotin Anja Schneider-Hein und ihrer Anschieberin Stefanie Meyer. Noch bis zum Start, dann kommt die Startnummer 11 zum Zuge, Bob Deutschland 3, Thüringen Bob von den Fans von Ultra der Bahn. Was Sie zeigen können. Viel Glückwunsch an der Schneider-Hein und Stefanie Meyer.
Welcome back live to Winterberg in Germany. Martin Haven and John Morgan watching the action here. And the fan club greeting the arrival at the starting box of Anja Schneider-Hein and Stephanie Schneider, her brakewoman.
59 mistake, though. This is a former Olympic champion brakeman with Sandra Kiriasis in 2006 at the Torino Winter Games. And she's been toiling on the Europa Cup Tour, made out in the World Cup Tour last year. I think she won one of these events.
Well, Anja has definitely got lots of potential. Like Kaillie Humphries, like so many of these drivers now, came from the back seat the way that the men do, from being a powerful athlete to becoming a powerful driver, and that's the key to the future.
She's a little high above the cowling, though. Remember Kaillie Humphries? We saw her eyes barely.
But she is right on track record pace. She's brought the gap down to 700ths of a second. She's got good speed,
yeah,
99.3.
Real speed, big speed. She's coming, 131 and shit. No, she should be within single digits, though, 300 or 400s. Track record by 100!
In the lead of the race, Jawohl! There you go, 56.89. That's the first Jawohl of the morning from Christoph Langen.
You know, this is all brakemen that are all driving sleds. Kaillie Humphries, Alana Meyers, Jamie Greubel, who used to all be brakemen, and now they're all driving. And you know, here's
Anja Schneider-Hein
decided,
champion brakewoman. Same with Kaillie Humphries. Yeah, absolutely.
And she made that mistake up top, you know, before curve 1.
So she leads by 100th. It could have been 5, 6, 800ths of a second.
When we talk about the dawning of a new era in women's bobsleigh, well, here's another one that came out with the start times. Great start time.
Well, how happy are those fans at the top going to be now?
Watch
They've
this
just
mistake,
cheered
though.
their girl to a track record.
That little tap, that's worth 10, 1500s.
Well, and it also means there's a tap out of corner one as well, because she got too high up that little bounce.
Look at the speed before the finish.
Look at Fabienne Meyer of Switzerland.
And Hengster.
Yeah, yeah. The Swiss and the Austrians, they've really got speed. And again,
I also say, Martin, that the sun's gone down. Yeah. The track's in total shade. I think the ice got a little cooler here quicker for the last 5 or 6 sleds, because Hengster really surprised me. Fabienne, Meyer, the last 3 sleds have really surprised me.
Well, here
Another
we go.
brakeman.
Next up, exactly, Olympic champion brakewoman and world champion brakewoman in Lake Placid.
She wasn't
Jennifer
Olympic
Ciochetti.
champion.
No, she was a world champion brakewoman in
last year, Lake Placid.
In Lake Placid. And now back on the front handles.
Katie O'Brien in the back.
Look at O'Brien's leg turnover. She's just electrifyingly fast. 5:62.
Wow, you're just unbelievable. The 7, 8 sleds at that low start time. All of them. I mean, if you look at the starts, Kiriasis, the 8th best start. Martini, the 10th best start.
She's 100th of a second away from the lead. Jennifer Ciochetti, a World Cup rookie season driver.
The track's getting faster.
She is having a really good run here as well. One little tap has
big
just robbed her a few
huge
hundreds.
Speed. Track's getting faster.
Over 58 miles an hour into the Chrysler is great pace.
The clouds are out. The sun's gone down. The first 7, 8
lost a bit
sleds.
of speed here, though. 98.4 is not enough.
Still, she's going to be in the top 5. Should be.
No, she's already out to 9th position.
Really?
2/10 away. The speed
just
here
fell away. That's her
electrifying
experience.
this morning. 129.8.
Yeah, she was way better than that up top. But again, the sun, since we got in this booth, the sun, the clouds have come in.
Yeah, we can now actually see the TV monitors in front of us, not being blinded by the sun. Still, 129 at the bottom, 80.7 miles an hour on sheet ice.
Very surprising, though, to see her with the 6th best start time, to be with a couple hundredths of the lead down before Chrysler. Look at the footwork. Those little spikes, 375 16th of an inch spikes, gives you the groove or the what you need to run across the ice and then get in. Look at the runner. Look at the driver here with the goggles. One of the only 2 drivers. The Canadians with that tap there. She tries to get on the take on early and she taps. It goes over in the middle. Jennifer Ciochetti on the right.
Katie O'Brien, what leg speed she has got, Kate O'Brien. Well, next up is Olga Stolneva. As Olga Fedorova, as a brakewoman, she holds the start record, or at least she did this morning when she woke up.
Yeah.
Behind Kovalenko. Now she's a driver as well, and she is Russia 1's pilot. Yulia Timofeeva, her brakewoman. What are they going to get as a start?
This is the Russians' best start time. And, you know, that Fedorova in the front seat just getting in right now. Well, she won a silver medal at the Athens Games in the 4x100 sprint relays. Track and field athleticism. Come on over to bobsled. Well, 2 of them are really...
There is more coming. I was speaking to Russian coach Malcolm Lloyd this morning. He said he's got a couple more athletes coming from Russian track and field that will make their debut post-Christmas. So he said we've got more speed coming.
We expect it. Expected to see it. Last year, Russians are building a program through 2014. And I think that guy that runs the country is a little on him about winning medals.
Yeah, do you think?
That Putin guy, I think he's a little... We got to win some medals. They weren't very happy coming out of Vancouver.
Little tap there, coming into corner 9, gets away with no dramas. The track's so much faster than training, but this is where bobsleds work best. The quicker it goes, the better they work. 129.6, not great speed.
No, she's not. That's 12th place out of 12.
57.31, still 900s inside the old track record. I'm not sure anybody has been... Oh no, one sled, Jasmine Fenlator, did not break the old track record. Everybody else has been inside it this morning. That's how quick a track we've got.
Lines, You know, she's got good aerodynamic form there, but look, she got pushed over. She tried to get on curve 9. Now watch her go down, watch her come back up, and watch her drive over to the right side of our screen, see if she can get on the take-on. Yeah, she got on the take-on there, good.
Not a bad run from Olga Sturneeva. Her husband's here as well. He makes his World Cup debut in the two-man race, so that's going to be interesting. Next up, Russia 2, Anastasia Tambovtseva. And she's got Margarita Ismailova on the brakes. These two have been pushing together really consistently. You know, they've worked as a team for, I don't know, the better part of a season and a half now, so she's got that orange tinted visor, and that's to try and cut down the glare of the ice on a bright sunny morning like today. You don't want to get snowblind.
If you really want to get technical, count the steps. Some people take 18 steps, some people take less, more. But I got to believe the people who have been out here a long time know how many steps. And you don't want to get to the point where you're pulling the sled back.
Yeah.
And plus, it's very steep here in Winterberg. As soon as you get over that little apex crest, you want to get in and let Mother Nature and gravity take over.
If you're running it over the brow, you better have another gear to go to, otherwise you're hauling the sled back when you jump in. We're now 3/10 behind, 14th at the start and 14th place at the moment. So I think, like Jamie Greubel, she is going to be outside the old track record.
Yeah, she just doesn't get a start time. She got the 14th best start time out of 14th sleds, and you know,
the other thing is that she's making too many mistakes. We saw the Swiss sled and the Austrian sled
bad starts.
As a whistle.
Yeah, they're bad starts, but unbelievable finishes.
Decent speed at the bottom, but all too little, too late. 57.57. Now, normally, if you came down within 1700ths of a track record, that would have been a good run.
That was then. This is now.
That was yesterday.
This is a different dawning. I mean, it was a beautiful dawn out here this morning, and
stunning.
Boy, we're just these 1,200-meter tracks. You start to see the athleticism. All the brakemen that used to be brakemen that are now drivers. Women's bobsledding has taken a new level of athleticism this year, especially. You've really seen it. Kaillie Humphries set the bar a couple years ago, but now. Look at Schneider-Hein, former brakeman. Myers, former brakeman. Humphries, former brakeman. Hengster started as a brakeman. Kiriasis, well, she started at loose so long ago. I don't know if she ever went to brakes. But
she came straight to the front seat. Next up then, Astrid Radjenovic of Australia and Fiona Harrison on the brakes. Fiona, former British brakewoman and driver in the World Cup. And she's joined the Australian team. If you think Astrid from Australia, married to a Serb, but her family originally from Newcastle in England. So Yorkshire and Newcastle, not too far apart on this sled.
Pretty candid conversation. Different sled. She's got a new sled here.
Yeah, she's borrowed this Vimmer sled for the weekend. She's driven it 4 times precisely. She's had less than 4 minutes behind the D-rings of this sled.
Well, she's got the 14th out of 15th best start. So, but look, I like the way she's sitting in the sled. Look how low she is. Of course, her brakeman you don't see. You shouldn't see the brakeman.
Nice, neat run so far from Astrid. She set top 10 times in Whistler last time out.
She's a good driver. There's no doubt. She just needs somebody to help her. She's the coach, manager, physio, trainer, fundraiser. I think there's no other job. She's the mechanic.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to give her some help.
Well, actually, the Germans help her out.
They do help her out.
The
German
Germans
are great.
They just look at a sled and say, "Come on, Astrid, get a new sled. Then we know what to do with it." They've forgotten what to do with the older kit. 57.65. Well, again, bearing in mind,
father-in-law Boris on the right.
Bearing in mind how different a sled this is, she's only driven it at this track in training, so she's never got any experience with it. 6 training runs in total.
She went from a Yugo to a Porsche with what she was driving.
Yeah.
But good, look at the turnover. I don't like the way the brakeman's going back and forth. I think that energy, you'll see really good teams where that energy's going straight ahead.
I was talking to her this morning. One of her former youth athletics training partners is coming to join her after Christmas, who just happens to be a 4-time world champion 400-meter hurdler. So she has got some power coming after Christmas.
More track and field, bring them on.
Yeah. Next up, and making her seasonal debut in the World Cup, Caroline Spahni. Michelle Huvela behind her. And Spahni, again, has been racing in the Europa Cup, the second tier of sliding here in Europe. Below the World Cup, there's a second tier, Europa Cup here, and the North America's Cup in the USA and Canada.
All the Swiss have that same cadence. Well, the Swiss are pretty precise in everything they do, just besides all them watches that they make. Not a bad start, 569, but a tap. That's not a bad start at all. That's better than her teammate.
Yeah.
8th best start. Her teammate had the 13th best start, 74. So,
but she gave it all away by dragging the sled along the wall, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
And that gap will increase. She'll be over 2400s behind.
Yeah, but we saw Schneider-Hein make that tap. Of course, she had a 59 start.
Yeah, I think of the power she had in the sled. So there you go, 2500s back, 14th place at the moment.
Yeah, this is her World Cup debut for the season. Like you said, she's been on the Europa Cup. Look how high she is above the cowling. I keep bringing that up. I really think you're going to get your eyes barely. I mean, she should be covering a little bit more of that visor. She's late there.
Ooh,
which means she might be late here, too. Not bad.
Gets away with it, but the speed is gone. She had to really work very hard to keep that in one piece.
Curve 10 to 11. It got away from her a little bit, the high-speed part of the track.
A couple of hundreds behind Astrid Radjenovic of Australia. So the Swiss with a battle on their hands in the second heat. Don't forget, all 20 sleds, if they complete safely the race in this first heat, will go in the second.
Look at this. This is not what you want. That's a lot of bad energy. And 11. Here's 12, where she corrected a little bit. And watch her transition out of 13 here. Watch her cross over to the left side of the screen. Now look at the take onto the curve. See her? Came right on. That's a perfect line.
Yeah.
If they let that picture go a little bit farther, you can see the sled just get on the take onto the curve. You cross over there without steering.
She looked like she was in trouble at the top of the labyrinth, and she had to haul it back into line, and that will have cost her time. Anja Schneider-Hein of Germany leads as we get to our 17th of 20 sleds, and Belgium rejoining the program. This is Elfa Willemsen with Hannah Marion behind her, a new brakewoman to us. She's joined the program this season.
What's her track and field background?
Oh, she's another big hurdler.
Listen to the crowd. Brakeman looked up, though. You see she's down and she looked up, so you get a little experience there. Well, look at the eyes.
Trying to judge where to get in. 5.80 start.
16th best start out of 17 sleds. You know, Elfie doesn't ever get good starts. She added this great track and field athlete behind her to help. Belgium has done great with their program. They really had that coming out party for the 2010 games where they collectively got some athletes and went out to make the Olympic team, and they did. And they had a Belgian TV crew following them around, made a reality show out of it, and really, really launched the popularity of the sport in Belgium. And as we talk about, Belgium used to be a power in the sport, winning an Olympic silver medal last time in 1948.
17th place at the moment, 129.1. That's not bad speed at the bottom. And on any other day, a 57.79 would see you close to the top half dozen.
Janis Minens, their coach, not very happy with that finish. 17th, 16th best start, 17th best finish.
Well, of course, the two Belgian athletes that went to the Whistler Games are now both driving sleds, so they divided the team and made two teams out of the one.
Look at the technique, though, by the brakeman.
Yeah.
Look at her head now, but she looks up there. She shouldn't be looking up.
Well, again, this is her first start
ever
on this
World
track,
Cup. That's what's her first ever World Cup. Yeah.
She's looking for her mark to get in the sled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't look. That's why you should have your feet. No.
Well, again,
it's the same thing as running hurdles, you know.
But again, you know, the first time you do it, it's different.
We just take so much for granted up here.
Next up for Romania is Maria Constantin, and Andrea Grecu behind her is a junior world championship bronze medalist. She was the brakewoman behind Maria's younger sister in the junior Olympics, rather, in the junior Olympics at Eagles at the end of last season. Look at the helmet, though. That has seen some action.
Maria, this is her World Cup debut?
Yes.
They were in headshots in, very good. She speaks good English.
Yeah.
Had a nice conversation with her.
Again, 2 Romanian sleds joining the program.
In Romania, I can always say it, their last World Championship medal was Pantoro in Lake Placid in 1949. But the Romanians, beautiful track up in the mountains in Siana, natural track. They haven't used it since the 60s. But I'm told they still go up there and try and build it once in a while and do some passenger rides. But Romania was a big power of the sport back in the 30s and 40s and before the war.
93.1 kilometers an hour. That's not bad speed. Little tap there will take a little away. 98.6 though.
Rough.
That is good.
That's
speed.
Rough out of curve 9. 10, she's good. But I lost her speed though on that exit. 9, that's late.
128.7. She's not going to challenge the track record.
You know, she finally got late on 11, but she was late on the exit of 9, late into 10, late into 11, and finally caught up with her.
Well, those 3 corners in the labyrinth just come at you at such a rush. If you're late on one, you're going to be late on all of them. There's precious little time to react.
But hey, it's a World Cup debut. You know, she's done well.
One of the sleds owned here by
Here it is. Here's where the
Miagu.
mistake starts. Right here, she's a little, that's a little high. Look at the air, almost air back there. Now she has a problem right here in 11, 12. Now, she's late here, but where she's really late is it just keeps magnifying all the way down here to the last of the 3 labyrinth curves. Now she's looking at real estate she doesn't want to be on. And bang. And look at Paul Miagu on the right. He's got more trips on the track than anybody. He drives passenger sleds. Here, Romanian athlete from the 84-88 games, moved to Winterberg.
He did 7 or 8 trips down yesterday alone.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't done that many this season. Next up is the second of Romanian sleds. This is Romania 1, Ioana Giacanu. She's got Christine Spataru behind her. These 2 are more regular performers on the World Cup.
They're just small, very, very small.
Yeah, Ioana is quite slight athlete. I mean, you look at her compared to even a Kaillie Humphries or Jasmine Fenlator, and she's definitely less of a powerhouse. 5.89 though, identical start to their teammates. So, of course, that's the first battle, isn't it? She wants to remain Romania 1.
Yeah, they've got a little competition in the competition.
She's got a little more experience than Maria Constantin, but she's behind her at the moment. And she remains behind her teammate.
Good aerodynamic profile of that seat. Ooh, skid there. 9, and this is where it gets quick.
97.0.
Those are good lines there.
A little slower than her teammate as well. She is still 19th position. And still behind her, she's wild at the bottom as well.
Kilometer down in speed, too.
58.32 for Ioana Giacanu. So, Romania 2 ahead of Romania 1. Chalk 1 up to the rookie there, so there's a little bit of needle for the second heat. You know, you've got to be good teammates, you have to work together, but you do want to beat your teammate, first of all.
Into the Kreisel, she got a skid on the take-on there. That's just friction and bobsledding don't go hand in hand, especially in the slow part of the track in Winterberg. She does the same thing her teammate did on the exit of the labyrinths, and ooh, look at the coaches look on, they know. I mean, she might have improved her time a little bit more, but the start, their start times are so far off.
Yeah. Well, again, you know, everything gradually needs to pick up. The kit, the start, the driving. And our final sled of 20 in this first heat for the Women's World Cup. Eva Willemark with Wendy van Leuven behind her. This is the second of our Belgian sleds. Wow, really interesting gait from Wendy van Leuven. Running with her feet so spread. 5.76 though, she's got good speed.
Driving a Latvian sled, the Jānis Minins, their coach, Latvian. And this isn't the red Latvian colors. She's got her She's got a lot of that head up. Anytime you could see, to me, the face mask or the helmet, that's not correct.
Nice tidy lines at the moment, 93 kilometers an hour. That's not bad speed.
It's not bad. Shouldn't see any part of that lower part of the helmet.
Top 15 at the moment, 98.2. That's better than we've seen.
Good. Oops. She's going to be late here, down in the third of the labyrinth. She could have a problem here in the second one. Watch this one here.
Oh!
Told you.
And there is the drama now. She will cross the line and get a second heat if she's fit to take it.
Now they got to hope they catch the sled, or it's going to go all the way back. Hopefully they got somebody up here with a hook. There it is.
Yeah, track worker. This is a tough job because
watch out. They better grab it.
This thing is coming up towards you. You can't judge it so that it gets to you before you get to it.
You could see it down in 9. Yeah. Once you see her come across that flat part of the exit of 9 into 10, late in 10, then you sort of feel safe going through 11 and 12, but then 13 just lights go out. And
again, the problem is they flip and flop at you so fast. You can see Ava there really beating herself up about that.
Well, she's
just furious. She knows that she should just have steered a little more.
Well, again, the mistake wasn't made down at 13. It was made way up 9 right here. Now watch this. She's little. Looks out. She comes off too early. Look, she's down in the middle of the curve here. And watch her crossover, and then that she's late there. That's 11. 12. She's way late here, and then, you know, this is where, okay, you've been late 3 times. The track says enough. I'm going to make you pay for this, and, you know, shows you how the push bars really acted like a row bar there. Look at Janen's Menens. Oh.
Yeah.
Of course, the safety of the athletes are both up, and
both up
very
and out.
Frustrated, very frustrated. But I mean, you know, you look at the sport. Yes, it's dangerous, but
well, you get late down into the labyrinth, and it never catches back up with you until you get out the bottom.
Well,
here is our race leader, though, Anja Schneider-Hein of Germany. A big start from her, but a clinically precise drive. Germany 3 leads the race here.
That mistake
Still
right there.
Mistakes, though. She managed to get away with that and take the lead.
Coach Christoph Lange, I mean, he has 2 other former world champions, didn't do so well, and his third sled rescued the German program in the first heat.
Yeah, so Germany leads. Alana Meyers in second place. Kaillie Humphries, unbeaten in 5 World Cup starts, is in third spot. Behind her, Christina Hengster of Austria. Great run from her to 4th to beat Sandra Kiriasis on Sandra's home track. Esme Kamphuis 6th. And Fabienne Meyer in 7th place. Kathleen Martini down in 9th spot.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
So, 20 sleds have completed the run. If Eva Willemark and Wendy van Leuven feel up to it, they will start our second heat as we go 20-1 to find out whether or not the Olympic champion, Kaillie Humphries, can make it 6 straight World Cup wins, or whether we are going to have our first new winner of the 2012-13 season. So join John Morgan and me, Martin Haven, for the second heat, live coming up at 1:30. We'll be back with all the action from Winterberg in Germany.